Hi everybody, and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. My name is Eitan, and today I will be showing you part 2 of the previous tutorial, which was how to sort of do an effect. We're here. Here we go. We just have a cool city sort of flyby. So we're gonna do part 2. In part 1, we sort of built a little just basic thing looking sort of like that. And so now based on this, we're gonna go forward and make it look like this. So let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is add on an adjustment layer, and on this we'll put on curves. Okay, and then I'm gonna just darken the whole thing. There we go. That looks good. So some of these bright parts are a little bright, so we can even play with it by bringing down some of these bright parts especially. I'm actually going to add on an exposure effect on top just to even darken it a little more equally, just everything. There we go. So it's nice and dark now, so the next thing we're going to do is add on a vignette. So I'm just going to make a new black solid, and then double click on the ellipse tool, invert that, press F to feather, and we have a nice vignette. It's a little strong, so I'm going to go into these mask properties and just sort of loosen it up a little. Okay, there we go. So we have a more subtle vignette now, just sort of focusing in the viewer's attention. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add on a bit of timecode. This just makes it look like it was from some sort of security camera of some sort. So I'll just do this on an adjustment layer. There's an effect right here called Timecode. There we go. And so you can really put this wherever you want. I'm just gonna put the position right, I guess, around there, make it bigger, and then turn down the transparency. Okay, we have our timecode. So this is now synced to the composition length. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add some Venetian blinds. So we'll do this on an adjustment layer. Venetian blinds. There we go, drag those on there. And we'll set it to something like 20%, 19%, and then rotate it around 90 degrees. So this is a very subtle thing, and to even brighten up that background a little bit, we can set it to classic color dodge in its blending mode. There we go, that sort of just keeps everything looking good. And if you want, you can add some sort of a wiggle expression to make this flicker a little. I think I did that originally, but I'm not going to do that this time around. That just makes it look like it's more trying to focus on everything. If you maybe wiggle the completion or the width, either one of those would look pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is another adjustment layer. What a surprise. And add on tritone this time. And this is where we're going to get it looking really cool, because we can set this to bright red, or if you want to do green, green would look cool also. Security camera-ish. Okay, and I'm actually gonna bring up this this time code above everything, just so that's not tinted as well. And I'm gonna hit enter to name it timecode, just so I know for the future what I'm moving. And so I'll name the rest of these layers while we're at it. I'm gonna call this darkness, this one vignette, then this one I'll just do VB for Venetian blinds, and this one tritone. Okay, and then on this tritone layer, we're also going to add a glow because it's a little, some of these just, it doesn't come out perfect, and that'll just sort of blend everything together, make it look a little more awesome. It's always what we're going for. So we'll add on a glow. Just standard glow, put that on there, and then turn up the radius. And instantly, the bright parts look a lot better. I'm actually going to spread this out even a little more, and then turn up the intensity a little. Okay. So I think I'm liking this now. We're getting a very sort of, some sort of night camera scanning things kind of look. This also looks, because it's been affected so much, more real than it did before. We can actually see before and now with everything. We've definitely done a lot to change it. So now we're going to next add a little target around the building because I had that before. So I'm going to turn off all these layers, and then we'll start by adding a white layer. And there are many ways you could do this with shape layers and stuff, but for me what I'm going to do right now is just add on the circle effect. For me this is just the easiest if I'm doing something like this. Now set the mode to edge radius, then you can turn it up, and then turn up the edge radius. Okay, so now you can sort of see where we might be going with this. This is just going to be layer 1. We're going to do tons of layers and pre-compose this. So the next one, I'm just gonna duplicate the whole layer, and then this one, I'm gonna turn up the radius and do something like that. Duplicate again, and that's Control D, by the way. And I'm gonna try to keep it from going out of the frame, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so this is, I guess, a very basic version. You could do tons of layers, make them a lot thinner, but just give it some variation. And then through the center, what we're gonna do is get go back to the pen tool, and then just the shape layer is fine for this. We'll just turn the stroke up to like 2, and then do another one going through the middle. Okay, so we have a target. This is a very basic target, but a target nonetheless. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select all these layers, then pre-compose. Okay, now I'll turn back on these other layers. And so we have our lovely little target. So I'm going to shrink this. A lot. And then we'll keyframe this in reverse. So we'll go from the end where we know exactly where this building is, and bring it up and bring it around so it fits perfectly around this building. Okay, now I'm going to go into these keyframe properties, the transform properties, just keyframe everything because we might as well. Now go back a few frames. Not much has changed, but we should give it a little movement. So, guess we'll do like that. And then now we'll shrink it as it gets farther away. Remember, we're going in reverse, so instead of coming closer up, it's getting farther away. Okay, so it'll take a little while, so I'm just going to go through it a little faster, skipping a few of the keyframes, but you got the idea from the earlier ones. And then as it gets far away, we can shrink it down to just about nothing and move it close to where it would be. And then by here, we'll move it way back and shrink it entirely. So now if we play this, I'll go down to quarter quality. And you can see it sticks better at the end because I spent more time keyframing that. This sort of just comes on. But you can spend a little more time. If you want, you could actually motion track the building or get its position from the initial comp before you rendered it out. And then you could just attach this target to that. It's just kind of weird sometimes with the Z space when that messes everything up when you come out of that and go into this. So that's why you can just do it like this, and that generally works fine unless you have like a half-hour clip. So and I'll move this also below the vignette probably. I don't think I had it colored before, but I think it's fine that way. Okay, and then just one more curves layer to finish everything off. And then this red. And then if you want to give it any hints of other colors, we can do a little, like, make it a little orange. This is sort of up to you how you sort of color it there. And then I think I had a little text down in the bottom, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm just going to do it with one line instead of like 4 like I did before. So I'm going to call this text something important. You want to make it, I just added those slash things there to make it seem like it was a line of code. And then instead of doing spaces, you can do underscores. There, looks like code now. Okay. So, now we notice that I guess the last color I used was purple as an outline. So, I guess we can just make this a 0 outline. That's fine, and that would just be in the stroke. So we'll set the stroke to 0, and then set the font to something a little more, looks like it would be coming out of a computer. There we go. Okay. And then you can either leave it like that and have it type on, or do a find edges, and then I think you invert that and the find edges and then a glow. I'm not going to do that right now because we're starting to run out of time, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to make it go on. So, we're going to go to animate and then position if you want, or I generally think for something like this where it's supposed to type on, opacity is better, but if you do position, the letters could sort of fly on, so that could be cool too. So for opacity, we're going to set it to 0, and then go to this range selector. And what this is this shows the start and the end, and right now it sort of, the letters sort of fade on, so to prevent that, we can go into advanced, and then set the smoothness to 0. So now it's just going to type on much better. Okay, so I'm going to set a keyframe at the beginning and at the end. So it's typing on very slowly because I set it over a long amount of time. But this could be cool also if you play with the offset a little, and then yeah, just give it some random. So, thank you for watching this After Effects tutorial. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.